So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate your presence. It adds a lot of value to the work that I'm doing. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today is value, the value of sympathy and why it's so important to find in sympathy value. Sometimes I think we think of it as a lost effort, something which gives us very little return on our expenditures. But I think it's just the opposite. I think sympathy makes us wealthy. We are rich in the cosmos. As a divine hierarchy really rewards us enormously for the amount of sympathy and cooperation we can deliver. So sympathy is something that is a connecting energy that allows us to enter into a very intimate relationship with someone else in a way that's extremely healthy, and it provides a boost for what their work is and what our work is. And so it's an enormously enriching transaction at every level. And sympathy is something that can be felt. So we know when we're connected, we know when our sympathies are correct because we can feel it. And that is a blessing that the divine has given to us so that we can know the difference between an intention that is in alignment and one that is misaligned and geared toward our personality. And that's the distinction, I think, that is worth making at every level. That we can go beyond our personality in sympathy with someone else and in a way then set aside our personal desires. They are desires. So shifting away from personality and moving into sympathy is an important step in advancing in the divine hierarchy. That sympathy that we can find for someone else is something that then allows us to perform the action of cooperation. To actively cooperate with someone is a very powerful thing. It is an act of love, I think. There's just no way around it. And so in that love, all advance, and the cosmos advances relentlessly. So how is it that can work? How can that sympathy be then translated into action? Well, sometimes, and this is a little bit of a trickier area here, but sometimes it's really not about our involvement with someone else. Becoming entangled with someone else is not necessarily the best path in cooperating with them. Because that entanglement oftentimes can be, it can be dangerous. And so I want to say, think carefully before getting involved with someone in terms of cooperating at a level that involves you getting entangled with them. So how can this work then? If you don't get entangled with them, how can you be helpful to them? Well, this is about an energetic work where who we are and the beings and energies that surround us can be directed toward helping another person. So you could, in the old-fashioned ways, call it prayer. But I think it's more than that. It's a direction of our life force, our energies that are manifested around us every day in different ways, can be messaged, can be sent to another person in their distress, need, or whatever it is that they need to have accomplished, whatever it is that's caught your attention, and what is now your attunement. So I'm saying then there's a technique, a methodology for working with other people that does not involve entanglement. It is sending your life force in the forms that are familiar to you to their aid. So this is a kind of mystical work. I wouldn't call it spiritual. I'm not going to go there with that because it is a direct work. It's energies that are very real. There's nothing that we can't necessarily utilize. Though we may not fully understand it, it's something we can utilize. And as we utilize it, we become more familiar with what it is that we're doing. As you get used to praying for people or offering them sort of energetic assistance, it gets easier for you. It gets easier for me as I become familiar with the energies around me. And in a sense, who can I send? What are the energies around me that are particularly appropriate to lend to another person, to send their way? And there are a lot of them, and they, in my world, they have names. They have a presence in my life. I feel them, and I've been with them a long time. They've been with me a long time. And I think they are glad to go. They are glad to be of assistance because they will always return. They return refreshed and enabled as they are able to help other people. So that refreshment is life-giving to them and to me as they return in a way as a gift back to me for the gift that I have sent to another person or another situation. And it feels good, it feels safe to be able to use sympathy as a way to connect with someone else and then to have a work to do, to cooperate with them energetically, to cooperate with them at a much higher level than just getting entangled and giving them a car or clothes or money. That stuff is valuable, but the energetic work is so much more powerful. And I think it is a significant advance in the cosmic expansion. So I like that. I like being able to do that. And I like using techniques to enhance those abilities and to look for more ways to be sympathetic. It's not a practice where you lose anything. I don't feel like I've lost anything if I offer my energies and life force to someone else to help them in an appropriate way, using an appropriate vehicle, an appropriate entity to do the work. Therein lies the secret, the value, the essence of connecting and to providing something quite extraordinary. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for your attention. And I thank you for your attunement to the necessity of using sympathy as a way of cooperation in advancing the divine right here on earth. Amen.